Hello and welcome to the Build with Bear Workshop. My name is Pat Baer. I'm here to build Lego. That's right, we're back to Lego. It's been a while since we did a Lego set. I'm excited to do that today. I want to say hi to everybody watching. We're going to hang out here in the pre-show zone of the Bear Cave for a bit, see if some other folks want to join us because I didn't give that much notice. I think yesterday is when I said, hey, I'm streaming at 6 o'clock, not 9 o'clock on Saturday, which is not a lot of notice, and I apologize for that. Dude Wants His Rug is here. Hello. I'm going to throw the Bear Cave emote in there. If you are a currently subscriber, you can throw the emote back at me. Bear Cave emote, the Lego emote, or the Scythe emote. Or just say hi. If you're not a subscriber, it's also okay. Um, if you use Twitch Prime to subscribe, remember you have to manually renew that. And please do. But yeah, Thursday, while I was doing the stream, a email request came in. Lastbrook is here. Hi, Lastbrook. An email came in, and a coworker of mine at the place that I work very few hours at, unfortunately, said, "Hey, can anyone work Saturday?" And I said, "Yes," because I'm going to Seattle at the end of the month, and I need to cover some shifts. So I felt like I should make up some of those shifts by working. So, and also I know that, well, not a super amount of y'all, there is a percentage of y'all that wants to watch wrestling tonight. NXT TakeOver is tonight. I know that some of y'all will want to watch that, and maybe that would be a conflict with the stream. So maybe earlier, everything works out. I don't know. I know that it's the afternoon for many of you. It's early evening here. But yeah, this way I can stream for 2 hours, build some Lego, thanks Ultron, and then I can go and work actually fairly easy shift. It's a stand-up show and an improv show. Should be pretty straightforward. But yeah, so I have two Lego sets, and we're going to work on one of them today and the next one after that. Unless some other stuff appears for my wish list, in which case, I'll do a vote. But I figure like Ultron sent two Lego sets. They're both 300 and something kits, so, a normal stream. We'll go through the whole process. We'll null by color. We will go through the books. Here's the thing about modern Lego kits that I don't like. Why do I have two booklets? This set, if I look at the number, has 310 pieces. 310 pieces. Just give me a big book. Give me a thick book. Why do I have two thin books like this? I don't understand why they do that. This is like two bags. Dude Wants the Rug says nice. Yeah. But I don't know. And then bag 3 and 4. Why do I got two books? Give me one big book. I don't like it. I don't like it at all. Also, there's just a piece that's just not in a bag. That's always weird because I'm always like, when do I need this? Do I know this? So I don't know. I'm gonna get some water here. I got some nice cool water. I am wearing a shirt that I got at for helping to fundraise for St. Jude. So y'all are a part of that. I'll tilt the camera down here. Play for more than bragging rights. And then this is white, but I don't know, it's not playing well on the green screen. I think that's a fun phrase. I think that works for gaming because it's all St. Jude Play, which was the charity thing, the charity wing that we raised money in when I did my Twitch Sing stream for charity. That was to help out Kate Stark and her efforts. And it was very fun. Anyway, let's go to the overhead. So, if you haven't watched a Build with Bear stream with Lego, because I've done, lots of model kits lately. Lots of stuff. We did our kit bashing project we just finished up, but even before that, I've been doing a lot of model kits. So, it's been a while for Lego. The thing we do is we always take multiple bags out because it speeds up the process, and we know by color. For my purposes, I am going to separate dark gray and light gray as much as possible because my eyes are sometimes bad with that. So we're basically just going to be taking the pieces that we have and separating them by color and organizing the color. Now, if I was doing this off stream, which I sometimes will do if I have a big Lego project to do, I will then do something where I take like these pieces here and I'll put them like this or like this and kind of stack them up to make my life easier because it will take up less room. Here, this is not a big kit. This is not a 500, 700 piece kit. So I'm not going to worry about that. I am just going to focus on color. And so I'm just separating color. And what you end up happening is sometimes you end up something with like this or like the orange or yellow. I'm kind of put those together because I don't think I'm going to have a lot of that. So sometimes there is other. I end up with just an other category. There's a lot of red in this. And so this kit and the cargo plane or cargo, which is, you know, a truck and a helicopter. That one and the other kit that I'll be doing next, which is the truck, like the camper van thing, are both just like real world kits, and I like the idea of doing a real world kit. I think that those are fun. We did that pizza van a ways back, and that was delightful. So I felt like pizza van was really fun. Why not do something else that is natural and real, quote unquote. Actually, yeah. So dark gray over here. Yeah, so I'm just going to separate by color, and then, you know, it does make things for me anyway a lot easier. Just be like, oh, I need a black piece here. I'll go and look in there. So instead of just like building out of the bag, because some people just build out of the bag. They open up bag one and they just start building and they start pulling as they need. I have found that for myself, anyway, that this method works really well. Whereas model kits, I like, you know, there are some people that they clip every piece out, they sand them down ahead of time, and they display them, and then they build off of size and shape that way. I'm not that kind of guy. When it comes to model kits, as you're fairly well aware, I'm sure from watching streams, when I'm building a model kit, I like looking at the instructions and going to the sheet and popping out what I need and being methodical that way. Who knows? After, you know, another couple of years of building model kits every week, maybe I'll get comfortable doing that the other way. But I like that method. Whereas this, it doesn't bother me that there will be pieces that when we finish bag one, the rest will be bag two. Now, there's always extras, so I do like to keep a bag. You know, sometimes there are bags and bags. I do like to keep a small bag, just separate, for when we get through these two things, we'll have some leftovers. And the nice thing is, my next build stream is Monday at 9 p.m. Eastern, so if we don't finish up the two bags, or if we open up bag 3 and bag 4 and start knolling that, whatever happens, if we have pieces left out, I can leave them on the table. I might just scoop them all together, but I won't have to like dump them into a bag or something like that, or dump them into the box. We have the benefit of having several days before next stream. And speaking of next stream, so the next stream is on Monday, 9 p.m. Eastern as normal. My schedule next week is odd. So I'm going to say what it is. I'll say it a couple times. I'll tweet about it next week a bunch, but my schedule is unique because of just life. And that's a bummer. I like to be consistent, but things are coming up. So today, obviously early stream. Monday, normal, 9 p.m. Eastern time till 11 p.m. Eastern time. Same bat channel, same bat time. You know, that's normal. Wednesday, I'm streaming next Wednesday, a build stream. So it'll be Wednesday at 9 p.m. My normal build stream will be nothing different. Thursday, again, normal Thursday. Thought I might go to see Alex Navarro's concert. Not going to go to that. I'll see him another time. It's rad that he's doing a show, but I'm going to stream. Friday, 8:16 in the afternoon, 4 p.m. I'm going to play Hearthstone. That's a Friday afternoon stream. Because on Saturday, no stream. No stream Saturday night. So the Wednesday stream is to make up for the Saturday stream. I will be promoting these as much as I can on my Twitter. Follow me on Twitter for updates. Also, if you go to my Twitch page when I'm not streaming, that schedule is available there. It's like my background image. So I apologize that it's all up in the air. Basically, what it comes down to is I can't stream next Saturday at all because I'm at FlameCon, which I'm very excited to be at FlameCon. But because I'm at FlameCon, can't stream. So instead, I am going to stream on Wednesday night. And then I wanted to do a bonus stream. I'm not available on Tuesday, so I will do my bonus stream on Friday. So I'm going to do 2 build streams in a row, back to back, Wednesday into Thursday. I will have to split my anime talk between Wednesday and Thursday. That I'm going to have to think about stuff to talk about on Thursday because there's only one anime show that I watch that comes out on Thursdays. So I'll be able to talk about, some stuff. And then that next Monday, I'll have plenty to talk about. Because I'll be able to talk about all my Friday and Saturday anime. It'll all work out. And it'll all be fine. I'll mention it at the end of the stream, too, in case people come late. All right. So, like I said, I have now knolled. We knolled 2 bags. And we're just putting light-colored pieces together. Working on our truck here. Helicopter is the last thing we built, which, since it sits on the truck, makes sense. But also, that helicopter looks cool, so I'm annoyed we don't get to build it yet. And then I built our trucker here. I think there's 2. Let's see here. I believe there are 3. We've got a helicopter pilot, and then we've got work crew person, and then we have another worker. And so we built our worker here. And one thing I want to point out, that their hair is attached to the hat. This is one piece. This is not 2 stackable pieces. The hair and the hat, the ponytail, are the same. So you can't do one or the other. Got to have this person with their ponytail peeking out of the hat, the back of the cap. That was just a thing I noticed. Tools of the trade, we've got our brick separator. Didn't come with the kit, but I have a bunch of these. So we've got our brick separator here for applying. If you haven't watched one of these streams, this is a simple thing of just a way to separate pieces. Find the spot you need. You put a piece on here like this. Then that. Separate. Nice and easy. Lemon squeezy. But very different ways to separate and to maneuver, including a wedge. We have some decals. I'm going to keep my tweezers to help with applying decals. Really, the brick separator would work on this as well, but I own tweezers, so why not? We always apply decals to our Legos because there's a lot of wear and tear and a lot of give with it. Not wear and tear, a lot of give, I should say. It's helpful. How y'all doing on a Saturday afternoon? I have been just talking because their chat has been light so far, which is totally okay. Totally understand. But yeah, if there's anything going on with y'all, feel free to pop in. Let me know what your Saturday's been like. If you got anything going on today, or if I'm your first thing, let me know. It's always fun to hear from chat. If chat's light today, chat's light today. I get that. It's Saturday afternoon. Because of FlameCon, I won't be streaming next Saturday, but I'm just there all day, so it wasn't like something where I could do it early. Also, a friend of mine is having a birthday party Saturday night, who I have not seen in months. So I am very excited about going to my friend's birthday party instead of just coming back here after my my brief visit to uh, to be at FlameCon. So that'll be fun. Lashbrook says, had to work after 5 days off, working on that GPO1 again, and I broke apart, so that's a bummer. I'm so sorry to hear that, Lashbrook. That sucks. I hope that hot glue or tack or there's some way to fix that. But that sucks that you broke apart. Um, the kit bashing kit, I have not done any work on my kit bashing project. I'm going to film it. I think on Monday I'm going to film a closer look that'll be available the next Monday, where I work on getting rid of the hot glue and using tack instead and fixing the arms. I'm going to do that and show that off in a video. I think that'll be it. But I want to do like a post-mortem on my first kit bashing project. Gavin says, stayed up too late last night. Woke up at 5 p.m. wandering around the house fit. Now I'm here. Hell yeah, Gavin. Gavin, I'm happy you're here. Sometimes, you know what? People will say, especially when you're young, okay? Like, I'm not old, but I'm older. So we'll say that, right? We'll say I'm older. A lot of people say that when you have a day off and you don't do anything and you sleep in too late, you wasted the day. In my mind, it's not a waste. You're just doing the least amount that you need to do. So yeah, if you're just sleeping all day, that's not a waste of your time. That's getting back some sleep. Because what were you going to do otherwise? It's not like you slept in instead of going and planting a bunch of trees. You slept in instead of catching up on anime or watching other Twitch streams in the afternoon. It's not like you're like, well, I could go to a park, but instead I'll just do this. Like, no. You weren't going to do that. Use it differently and exactly. Dude wants the rug gets it. Lashbrook says it didn't break all the way off. Talking about the piece, just mostly. I don't really have the glue solutions. It needs to be strong though. Lashbrook, yeah. Tack might not be good for this. You know, I mean, if you can do it on the inside, maybe tape. Maybe a strong like gaff or even electrical if it can be not shown. Yeah, if you don't have Gorilla Glue or if you don't have liquid cement or blue tack, even blue tack, maybe blue tack can help. I don't know. Gavin says, I'm in Florida and it's so hot and humid all day. I don't even want to be awake where the sun is out. Yeah. So Gavin, my parents retired. They're in South Carolina. They're near Myrtle Beach. They're not in Myrtle Beach. They're near it. Like many Northerners, that's where they ended up. And my mom does aerobic, like water aerobics, to kind of just keep things like it's social for her, but it's also a physical exercise. And she was telling me that this week the water is his outdoor pool is basically bath water, and it's not comfortable. And she goes in the mornings, and she's like, this is not soothing water. And I was like, yeah, that doesn't sound like something I would want to do. Like, I understand. She's like, yeah, you're already sweating when you get in. I was like, that's not good. Yeah. Yeah, dude wants drugs. This is yuck, and you're not wrong. All right, so we're working on the truck bed here, and you can kind of see this coming along. You can see like, oh, these are going to be the wheel wells. These are going to go in there, and then these are going to go there. You can kind of see how this thing is coming together. One of the nice things about building something that's based on a real thing, which we don't necessarily do a lot here on streams, is you can be like, oh, this makes sense, because we're not building a Gundam, or like we're not building like some sort of Star Wars spaceship. We're building a truck. It makes sense. Yeah, I live on the Gulf of Mexico, and the Gulf feels like bathwater. It's ridiculous. Yeah, and like I understand. Also, I'm from Connecticut, so even in the dead summer, the Atlantic Ocean is generally fairly cold where I am here. Like sometimes it gets warm, but you know, a couple weeks ago I went to the beach on a Sunday, and it was hot. It was hot out, and the water was freezing. And that rules, but I also understand why some people are like, I hate that. Like I get both both of those things because they want their water to be like reasonably warm. Yeah, I don't know. I don't even have one of my fans going today. My window fan is off. There's been a really nice breeze coming through. It was like pretty pleasant. Let's see, what did I do today? I did grocery shopping today. That was a big part of my day. Was I I sound like a very old person when I say this, but I had a coupon from McDonald's, so I went to McDonald's. Now, I shouldn't have gone to McDonald's today. I should have eaten the food, finished up some of the food I had, or just gone grocery shopping first. But here's the thing. This is a tried and true thing. This is a thing that I inherited from my mom. Many people know this already. I'm a broken record on, or not broken record. I'm preaching to the choir on this. But you don't buy groceries when you're hungry. You can't go grocery shopping first. If you can't. You can't go grocery shopping if you haven't eaten. Some people have the willpower. I know that I do not have that willpower. So I went to McDonald's with my coupon and got an extra value meal for cheap. Ate that, was happy with that, and then went and got groceries. And then, brought those groceries home. But yeah, I mean it's just life. Like I have bought so many things that I was like, oh, that looks good. Then I'm like, why did I buy this when I've gone grocery shopping when I'm hungry? So I try to avoid that. Uh, this is fun assembly. I do like the tricks of this. Like we're working on, it's a truck bed. There's nothing super exciting about it, but I still don't know exactly how this thing comes together. So it is fun to kind of figure it out as we go. More shells. But yeah, I only say I shouldn't have gone to McDonald's because I did have breakfast food and lunch food at home. So I could have done that. Also, I did eat Domino's yesterday. So I didn't need to do that. I did Domino's last night and then McDonald's for lunch. That's probably too much grocery. I got a big salad that I'm going to eat at work. After I leave here, I already made it, so I don't even have to do it in a rush. It's already ready to go in a container. I can take a big old salad, and that's good. That's how you end up with 5 bags of chips and 4 containers of cookies. Yes, Gavin. And my grocery store is near my apartment, so I have walking distance. But when I had to walk or drive, walk a ways or drive back in the day, that was when I would drive home. That's when you would get things to munch on the way, and that's a big no-no. That's a big old mistake. Hello. Welcome. Happy to have you here. Welcome to the Baer Workshop. We are currently working on a Lego set, the Heavy Cargo. Putting this together. We just started today on this kit, but it's 310 pieces, so pretty easy. Talking about food stuff, I wanted to say that if you are one of the people who seem to be very angry with my pizza joke that I made Thursday night, I have no problem with party cut or pub cut, as many people refer to it. Pub cut, party cut, when you take a pizza and instead of cutting it into 8 slices in a circle, you cut it across and make a bunch of squares. You make it into square pieces, whereas there are some pieces that have no crust, outside crust, only the bottom crust. I don't have a problem with that. I am from the New England area. We don't cut our pies that way traditionally. Traditionally, we do slices. When I would get party pizza, it would often be at a birthday party when I was a child, or they would get the party cut if you were at a work event and they were like, well, we want to buy pizzas, but we don't want to buy too many pizzas, so we'll do that so people don't know how many slices they ate. But I have no issue with that cut. My joke on Thursday on Twitter apparently made it seem like I was making fun of that, and I am not. Pizza's pizza. It's this ad thing where you can have pizza and talk about politics with Pete but a judge. Uh, and I was like, the pizza in the ad was a pie that was party cut. But then the promo of it, the promo image, like Pie with Pete, was of a pizza that was cut traditionally. And I was like, you can't, come on. I'm okay with a square cut if the pizza is square, but never cut a circular pizza square. So, Gavin, that's also a fair point. And this is a circular pizza that was cut pub style. Uh, the kind of pizza you just put out and then everyone grabs a little bit. You put it out at the pub to encourage people to keep drinking. And it's, whatever. It's a thin crust pie or whatever. So I got Domino's last night, and I got their thin crust. And when you get the thin crust, they do the party slices. So I did that as a like, hey, y'all. One, I wanted some Domino's pizza. Because we've had this conversation on stream before. This is not the first time. This is not the last time we will have this conversation on stream before. I love incredible pizza. I am blessed to live in a city that makes unbelievably great pizza. I'm so thrilled about that. At the same time, sometimes you just want to eat good, bad pizza. And so Domino's thin crust, for me anyway, is good, bad pizza. I get bacon and onion because the bacon grease gets absorbed by the onion, and it just is a good, bad taste that I very much enjoy. Because I am used, look, I can get an incredible slice anytime I want. I live by very good pizza places. There are 3 with a stone's throw from my apartment. If I want to get good pizza, I can get good pizza. But sometimes you just want good, bad pizza. And there's nothing wrong with that. There are folks that live in places in this country and in the world where they don't have access to incredible pizza done by people that have been doing it for decades. They're getting franchise pizza places. And so, I understand that. If the best pizza place that you have is a Little Caesars, then that's the best pizza place you have. I am spoiled because I grew up right outside. There is no good pizza near me. Yeah, and sometimes there are no good options. Sometimes DiGiorno is your best option, and if DiGiorno is your best option, then you fucking go for it. Yeah, you have all the chains. Yeah, so or you just make it work, or you find the best possible. This was years ago. My buddy Nick and I grew up, right near each other. He went down to Florida and lived there for a very long time. And a friend of his came up, and we went and we got really good pizza in New York. And his friend had it, and he ate it, and he goes, "Okay, Nick, now I know why you hated pizza in Orlando." Because he grew up in Orlando. He had never had better pizza than the pizza they had there, which I'm sure there's probably a couple great spots. He just never had access to those great spots or never went out of his way to get that. And it's just like, yeah, sorry. Sanibel Island is a hard place to get to. It's in Florida, in the Gulf of Mexico. You drive through Sanibel to get to Captiva Island. My parents used to go down to Captiva quite a bit. They love that little island. It got wrecked by hurricanes, just completely destroyed. They're in rebuilding. There is, on Sanibel, a really good Italian place. And it was described to me. So my parents were like, "Oh, well, we just had lunch at this Italian place. It was so good. It was really good." And I went, "Well, was it Florida good, or was it New England good, or Mid-Atlantic good?" And they were like, "Oh, no, it was fucking good. It was very good. It wasn't good for Florida." I was like, "Oh, okay." And it sucks to be snobby about things. I don't, me, I'm pretty fucking down to earth. I try not to be snobby about stuff. I don't want to be a pizza snob. I've just had access to incredibly good pizza my entire life. Growing up in Connecticut, I was a stone's throw from New Haven. I grew up outside New Haven, Connecticut, which is the home of Worcester Street Pizza. Sally's, Pepe's, the basement, which is like somebody from one of them opened. There's another one that just opened that is like somebody basically stealing their recipe. That's on Worcester Street as well. Incredible pizza. Uh, just unbelievably good. Sanibel is about an hour and a half south of me. Costs like $12 to get over the bridge now. I mean that look, Gavin. It makes sense for them because those two islands got really hit really hard. So you make up the money wherever you can. But that $12 is a lot. I also say that, and I have plenty of friends that pay tolls every time they drive, and I don't drive anymore, or much anymore, so I don't really deal with that. Okay, so we have a lot of stickers we're putting on here. Special transport, and now another special transport sticker. So I'm going to use my tweezers. Just these decals, these stickers, you can really get underneath them and kind of fix them. This one is weird because, this is the wrong one. Well, one, I'm putting the wrong sticker on. I was so busy talking with y'all that I was about to put the wrong sticker on. So that's a mistake. The nice thing is I can put it back on here and it will be fine. I'll be able to take it off again, no problem. But yeah, I was about to put the wrong sticker on. But still, this sticker, the right sticker, is still going to give us a little bit of a yellow border. So we have some room to mess up and to fix our mistakes. In my area, Greeks make the best pizza, and I'm okay with that. Hey, that sounds all right with me. One of my favorite pizza places in the world is I don't think there's anybody Italian that's behind it. It's just people that research really quality ingredients. I understand, and then also the bread in New York is great because of the water, which is why our bagels and our pizza are so good. There's a lot of other reasons, but alright, I'm putting the sticker on. We're going to call that on. I don't worry too much about decals. Like, if it's crooked, it's not quite right, I do my best, but yeah, life's short. So, but this is the gonna be like, where does this go? Yeah, this is like the top of our cab. So we're gonna, or no, this is the front, right? I don't know. This is either the front of the cab or the top of the cab. I don't even know what I'm building yet. It'll all come together and we'll all go, ooh. I'll say ooh on camera, and you'll say ooh at home. And it'll be great. But yeah, I got a salad for dinner tonight because Domino's, like the $5, deal. I got a pizza and then I got cheesy bread. And it was great, but it was a lot. I ended up saving a few slices of the pizza and then ate that late last night, and that was good. They're so thin that a little oil in a pan was all you needed to heat it up. It wasn't perfect, but it was certainly better than microwaving it. But yeah, so this is the front of our truck. Okay. Wasn't sure. So this is definitely going to be an extra piece, which is awesome. I love it when Lego is so smart about like, hey, you know what? If one of these went away, you'd be bummed out. So they give us, I assume this is an extra. I'm going to put it in the bag, which is usually where I put the extras. And that's great. Water here. I never reheat pizza. I like it better the next day cold. Yeah, I'm not, Gavin. I'm just not a cold pizza fan. I got no problem with folks that's your deal. If that's your thing, that's your thing. But yeah, I just never really liked cold pizza. Look, the best, honestly, putting it right on, putting right on the rack in an oven, in my opinion, is the best way to reheat pizza. Is to rack it, to bake it again. Unfortunately, my oven in my apartment is not great. Its heat distribution is not good. It doesn't actually accurately tell you the temperature. It's not good. So I don't use my oven that often unless I have to. Um, so my options are microwave, which I don't really like microwaving, or putting a little oil in a pan and putting a topper on there, maybe making the tin foil roof if you want to do that thing, and just heating it up on a pan. Uh, just real quick. If I had a toaster oven, I'd throw it in the toaster oven. That's definitely the best one. I just don't own a toaster oven. I've got a microwave, I got an oven that is iffy, uh, and I got 4 burners. So that's enough generally for everything I do. I would love to bake again. It has been a long time since I did any baking. It's right now I'm at the point where my landlord just increased the rent like a little bit, but they hadn't increased it for a long time. A long time. So I don't ask for things, like, hey, there's a leak in the ceiling. Those things I always ask for. But, like, yes, do I want them to replace my stove? I do. Do I want them to be like, okay, well, we have to do this, this, this? No, I don't want them to do that. Like, they want me to go away for like 3 weeks so they can rip out and completely destroy my bathroom. I don't want to do that. So, like, I'm now like kind of just waiting it out. But yeah, they really want to like gut my bathroom and redo it. But I'm like, no, no, I don't want you to do that. My oven is exactly the same. I've burnt so many frozen pizzas. Yeah, it's just not. It's old. The stove is very old. The uh, like the burners all work and are fine, and I just kind of do a lot of that. I don't do any baking, which is a shame because I'm not bad at baking, and baking is the most scientific of all the cooking methods outside of sous vide. Sous vide is clearly the most scientific, uh, but I don't have a sous vide machine. I don't have any of that. I should. I should definitely be sous videing my chicken instead of cooking it in oil. Getting a big old chicken breast, cutting it into manageable pieces, and then basically cooking it in a bit of oil. Like I really wish that I. That's something where like, hey, if I end up with like a good paying job and I start like, you know, making some decent bank, maybe I'll invest in a sous vide machine. Because it's one of those things where like, hey, it doesn't cost a lot to get started with that, especially if you're reusing a tub or whatever, or like, like you're buying it by component or whatever. Like, yeah, it doesn't cost a lot to do. It's just an expense I shouldn't be doing while I am currently like underemployed. Like that's not a reasonable thing to pick up. Oh, gotta put this way. Back of our truck here. Getting a lot done with our truck. We're on to bag 2, which is good. But yeah, I wish I could bake because there's stuff that I like doing. You know, sous vide would be cool too. I don't know. I've never used it. I've never used a sous vide machine, but I know that I would, or sous vide machine. But I know I'd be into it because I don't know. I like that stuff. Uh, I like the science of cooking. That's why I like baking a lot. I don't know. I'm getting hungry now. Now I'm getting hungry. I got some time before I can eat. I'm basically going to get to work, set up what I need to set up, and then start digging into my dinner, which is just a lot of lettuce, a lot of cucumbers, a lot of olives, and a lot of diced chicken, and then some light ranch dressing on the side, and I'll just shred and dip, and that's my dinner. It's going to be good, though. I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be very light. Like, even the chicken should be real good. Especially because I talked about this on Twitter. I have been working on cooking more at home, and basically, I've been doing a version of like a bastardized version of keto for quite some time, which has been good for me, but not perfect. And one of the things I was doing was, trying to cut carbs out by cutting out potatoes um, and rice. And so I've been eating. I've been making a cauliflower mash, and they're not mashed potatoes. I know they're not mashed potatoes, but here's the thing: they feel heavy. And after eating so many salads, getting something that feels heavy in your body just can be huge. It could just be a huge game changer as far as your what you're eating and what you're consuming. So I've been doing that. But I've been trying to fix my recipe. I've been trying to make it a little thicker, and also for taste, I've just been using too much salt, and I can't. I gotta cut back on the salt. I know that salt is a great flavoring, but I need to cut back on the salt, and so I've been trying different recipes. Well, I gotta cut back because I just used too much salt. Because I've been using regular kosher salt, and then I've also been using garlic salt. So what I tried to do is I tried to use more real garlic, and I used too much fucking garlic, y'all. Holy shit, did I use too much garlic? I used so much garlic. It was it. I think the Tupperware container that it's sitting in is always going to smell like garlic. It tasted good. It tasted like garlic. Um, and so I know I can cut that back. I can use onion powder. A little bit more onion powder I think will help. And I can use way less garlic salt than I did. Or that's real garlic, I should say. Um, so I'm learning as I go. But it was thicker than my previous attempts, which is good. Because I want, every once in a while, just having something that sticks to your ribs is really helpful. Um, not all the time, but yeah. Once in a while, it's good to just have something that makes you feel like, oh, okay. Uh, I assumed the steering wheel was for the front, but this is the back of the cab steering wheel, which I guess is for. Oh no, this is the front of the cab. Okay, this is all right. This is the back part. Okay, I'm getting this now. I'm figuring this all out. I understand some things. We're putting doors on our car. We're getting there. This cockpit, or the cab, I should say. I get bags of cauliflower rice, and it's pretty good too. Yeah, cauliflower rice I don't mind. I think that it's I will put some other things in that. I've just been experimenting, um, because I've been eating at home a lot and just trying to mix things up. Because salads are great, but salads only get you so far. As the song goes, you don't make friends with salad. Uh, Got a coffee mug here. I like that. Our coffee mug on our dash of our transport vehicle. That's fun. That was one step. That was a page. A page was put this coffee mug there. See? Didn't need two books. What are they doing here? Alright, I'm going to build a separate unit now. Nonsense. That's some nonsense. Great. Yeah, so I've been trying cauliflower rice. I don't love it too much, but it is good. The mash is just different. Like I said, I am looking for that. The nice thing, obviously, the nice thing about salad is you get a lot of crunch, or crunch, as they say. And I like a good crunch, so that's very helpful. Because for a long time I was just doing, because it was easy, I would do a white bean or a northern bean mash. And that was fun. Then you get your diced, put a vegetable in there and dice, diced protein, and it was fine. But I found that was very bland. So I would put snow peas in there. Just give some kind of crunch. So that is the nice thing about salad is You do get some crunch and some texture. I don't know. I'm trying, y'all. I'm not trying too hard because I'm eating Domino's pizza, but I am trying to most days eat pretty healthy if I can. Hey everybody! Thank you so much for joining me. I'm so happy to have as many viewers as we do. As normally, I stream 9 p.m. to 11 p.m. on a Saturday, but I am streaming earlier because I'm going to go work a late shift tonight. Do a little Tekken. Got some shows. I want to talk about. I want to talk about these shows. So I don't often talk about what happens at the Brooklyn Comedy Collective, which is the comedy theater that I work part time at. First and foremost, I enjoy how weird they are. They're a weird theater. That is the point. They're experimental. They are alt certainly, and I do enjoy that. It's fun. A lot of young people coming through. So some people's like first shows. They've done other shows, but the first time producing their own show, that kind of thing. It's nice for me as someone that's been around the block to help with that. But you also get stuff that like is weird and interesting, and sometimes it doesn't work, but it's fun. So tonight is a good example of that. We have the first show is a stand-up show where there aren't a lot of stand-ups. Now, in an hour, sometimes you're going to see 6 or 7 stand-ups, because no one's doing a lot of material. It's usually like a lot of stand-ups come up and there's a host and that's the show. This show, only 3 or 4 stand-ups because they have to make time for the person doing their set is being watched by a therapist who then interviews and does like a not never refers to as a therapy session, but therapy session because that's not a thing, not a thing you do. But then talks to the person. We put a couch out there. The stand-up can go sit on the couch and then be interviewed about questions, and obviously like the therapist knows jokes, but and the like will still ask questions, and it's weird. It's a weird show. I like it, but it is an odd piece of theater, like an odd piece of comedy. What we found what happens the most is, which is makes sense, but is right when they need to wrap things up and get the next comic out, some sort of minor breakthrough happens where like a question gets asked or someone like has a interesting response and it's like a real moment happens and it's incredible because it's a real moment. But then also you're like, and we need to get our other comics out. So it's a show that like needs either more time or like less comics, but it is interesting. It's definitely not your typical comedy show, and I like that. And then the later show, the 11 o'clock show that's happening tonight, is an improv show that is playing around one of the big rules. So this isn't a rule of improv. It's an improv show. But it is a rule of improv training. A general rule of thumb in improv is when you're starting out, one of the scenes you should avoid is transaction scenes. Scenes where you want something and you need someone else to give it to you. Like buying a new car, the improv scene. The main reason why it's recommended you don't do that in your early improv career, especially your early training career, is because the scene has a built-in end. And you don't necessarily want that. You want to end on a high note, a moment, some comedy bit. You don't want to end because you bought the car 45 seconds into the scene. So they say no transaction scenes. That's not to say that you can't do them. It's just that they recommend in almost every improv school, say, hey, don't do those to start out. So this show is all transaction scenes. It's all going to be transaction scenes. I don't know if it's going to be good improvisers. Who knows how great it'll be? Who knows where things will go wrong and things will go right? But I think as a premise, it's a really strong premise. And I'm excited to see what a bunch of interesting, weird improvisers, good improvisers do when they're forcing themselves to do a type of scene that they suggest you don't do. In the same way, uh, early improv training, they would recommend not doing teaching scenes. Not scenes involving teachers, but scenes where you are instructing someone how to do something, because it just becomes an information dump and they don't really go anywhere and you don't get a lot of point of view. So often teachers will recommend don't do teaching scenes, don't do transaction scenes, um, don't start a scene by pointing a gun at someone, just stuff that's like, these are all things you can do, and any improviser that's been doing it for long enough will do all of those things. Start a scene by yelling at someone, start a scene in an argument, start a scene with a stranger by introducing yourself and not knowing the other person. These are all things you can just do, but when you're starting out and still trying to figure out, like, what kind of improviser am I? What do I like to do? It is a lot easier just to avoid some of those tropes and scenes. All right. Ooh, we got to put the hood on, or the top of the cab on. I guess this truck imagines a world where the engine is really small. Not a lot of room for an engine in this truck. What's this place called? So, it is the Brooklyn Comedy Collective. They are a very relatively new comedy theater in Brooklyn, Brooklyn, New York. BrooklynCC.com. They run shows out of a theater called the Brick Theater. They do classes. Um, they are the remnants of the Annoyance, New York. The Annoyance is a well-respected, well-known Chicago-based improv group that opened a theater in New York, and then that didn't work out. And then some of the performers there were looking to kind of keep the vibe going, because the Annoyance is a style of performance, of improv, of sketch, even stand-up. The Annoyance is like a style that they wanted to keep alive. And there were a lot of students and people of that were looking for a new home. So Philip, who is the artistic director of the theater, decided that he would figure out a way to keep that vibe going. But yeah, it's one of those things where, like, the people that I see are either going to never do comedy again and just get into some other weird art form, or in a few years I'll start seeing them on bigger shows, and once they've like honed in their weird voice. Like, there was a show where people were like, it was the great Bigfoot debate happened last weekend, and it's one of my favorite shows I've ever teched at this space. Because it started off and made me think that it was just going to be like, oh, it's a show where people do PowerPoint presentations on different cryptids. We're going to talk about the Jersey Devil and Bigfoot and whatever. And we'll go through a few of them, and no problem. That's the show. But it was that. That was the first half. And then the second half was debating which one was better, to decide which one was the best one. And so it was just like, well, it was like really fun, and some people were in character and other people were just like themselves, and it was a really fun, thoughtful show that I really had a good time with, because it was like some people were clearly like, yeah, I don't know, I don't know enough about the chupacabra, but I'm Latinx, so I picked the chupacabra. And then other people being like, no, I have put a lot of thought into Bigfoot. I think about Bigfoot quite a bit. Here's what I want to say about Bigfoot. And you're like, okay, I don't think either of you are wrong. Good on you. All right, we're going to take the walkie-talkie out of her hand, put the walkie-talkie on truck. And then we're going to put some exhaust here on our truck. But yeah, yeah. I don't. I always talk about like mention going to work, but I don't. I rarely talk about what I do there. But yeah, there's some stuff. There's a stand up show that I'm teching tomorrow. I'm excited about that. The host just does characters. She hosts the show um, as a bunch of different characters. She's never herself. So she does short little 2 to 3 minute characters. So they're all a lot of them are works in progress. And then at the end of the bit, she'll then introduce the next stand up. And you get into this interesting rhythm that way. And I like it. To me, it's like it'd be fine if she was just introducing them as herself, but she's not. She's using the idea of having a slot where she hosts to work on characters. I don't know. I think it's cool. We got the right here. We got our chest here. We can put into the back of the truck. That's fun. And we got to put wheels on this thing. Let's put some wheels on it. Okay, wheels go in like this. We will take a pause for the cause. If you're new to the channel, usually about an hour into the stream, I take a brief pause to talk about ways you can support the stream if you're interested in that, and promote a couple things that I'm working on if there's anything that I'm doing. So I will take a pause for the cause in just a moment to talk about what's going on with me. And then I'll talk about some anime stuff that I watched since the last stream. And we'll start knolling bags 3 and 4. But right now, we can put some wheels on. Nice and easy. Wheel wells. And we'll see how this looks when we put the wheels on it, how it rolls around. And you can see there's some extra pieces here. Those are just odds and ends. I enjoy that about Lego. Oh yeah, that wheel's real nice. You'd imagine it would, but you never know. Yeah, that wheel's real good. And that is, that's the end of bag. That's the end of bags 1 and 2, and that is the end of instruction book 1. So we can swap to book 2. After a brief pause for the cause. First and foremost, thanks everybody for watching. We will get into bag 2. We will start knolling, we'll start knolling bags 3 and 4 in a moment. But a brief time where I will talk about ways you can support the stream. First and foremost, if you're currently a subscriber to the channel, throw the Bear Cave, throw the Lego emote out there. Let the people see it. I'll throw the scythe out there, which is the tier 2 one, along with the Bear Cave and the Lego emotes. Subscribing is huge for me. The numbers go up. The payouts are good. The money that I get from Twitch, Hello Solve, dude wants the rug here, and of course, Lashbrook. The money I get from working on kits, or being a Twitch affiliate, goes into me buying kits and equipment. Because as you know, it's not like as someone who doesn't only play video games on stream, who primarily builds things, I have to keep buying new things to build. And that gets pricey. So having folks do this, at the very least, if you aren't currently following me, hit the follow, turn your notifications on so you know when I stream so that you can join in. But yeah, I have that. I also have a Patreon. You could join the Patreon if you'd like. You get videos in advance, the archives of my streams. That's another way to support the channel. Someone just renewed their subscription. If you would like to put the notification in there that you renewed it, that would be rad. Always, if you're a Twitch Prime user, you got to manually renew. If you use Cash Money, $5, you don't have to manually renew, and it's fine. I have a Amazon, my Amazon wish list. That was Sharks. That was Sharks 2K subscribing. That's 5 months. Thank you, Sharks. Throw the Bear Game on there. Just mentioned that I have a wish list. So, Ultron 100, longtime subscriber, bought this kit off of my Amazon wish list. This will be in the show description on YouTube. I'm putting it in there. Like I said, we'll get back to building in a minute or two. Just going to go through some of that. Sharks, thank you so much for renewing your subscription. 5 months, that rules. My wish list is easy. You just buy something there, it gets sent to me. I've got some $10 items that will be quick finish before a stream's over builds. I got some $28 items. They'll take a little longer. Small kits, big kits, Lego sets. Just got informed about this Ninjago Fire Fang, which is like a big robotic like snake thing. It's a Lego set. It looks fucking awesome. It's like a serpent. The Fire Fang. It's like a mobile mechanical snake. I want to build that. I put that on the wish list. That looks cool. Bunch of stuff on there. Expensive things, cheap things. A way to support the stream, if you'd like, is to buy things off the wish list, and it comes to me. You could also buy a gift card at USA Gundam Store and then send it to me. That's for folks that don't want to use Amazon. You go to USA Gundam Store, you buy a gift card, send me a whisper, send me a tweet. Hi, folks who are just joining. We're doing a pause for the cause. We built a whole truck the first hour of the stream, and I'm just giving some ways people can support the stream if they'd like before we get back into working on this. We got to work on our the back part of our vehicle here, the trailer, and the helicopter coming. And then I have a coffee, donations, coffee, Patreon, Twitch, all that goes into me buying more model kits and equipment. So consider doing that if you'd like. Those are ways to support the stream. And then the Build with Bear community. Join the Build with Bear community. It rules. It's my Discord. I post build photos after every stream. People post stuff they're working on. You can get an idea of what some kits are looking out there. So people that do, use markers and paint, which I don't do. It's a good way to check some of that out. And it's like not that busy and good vibes. So get on board. Now I'm going to drink a little water. Now's a good chance for you all to drink some water. And then we'll get back to building. A reminder. My next stream is Monday, the 12th at 9 p.m. I am then streaming on Wednesday at 9 p.m., which I never do a Wednesday stream, and Thursday at 9 p.m., and then Friday afternoon next week I'll do a Hearthstone stream, because I'm not streaming 1 week from tonight. Next Saturday, I'm not streaming. I'm going to be at FlameCon volunteering all day, and then going to a birthday party after that, so I will be instead streaming on Wednesday instead of Sunday, or Saturday, so. And again, I'm sorry that I only have one normal Saturday this whole dang month, but that's just the way things worked out. Sorry, my schedule's so up in the air. Anyway, we got our truck. We can put that aside because it's time to knoll. We got a knoll. We've got bags 3 and 4 to knoll. We'll knoll those together. We can put bag 1 or book 1 back in the box. Make sure there. Yeah. So now we are just going to really easily just take these bags. I'm going to try to open them away from the camera because that noise is not pleasant to a lot of people. And then, yeah, we're just going to separate by color. Nice and easy. We'll do bag 3 and then we'll do bag 4. And then we'll get to building because doing this step just makes everything so much easier. And I could just toss that aside, dispose of that later. But yeah, nice and easy. One color one way, another color another way. Separating. So now is in the second half of the show is where I talk about some anime. So it's anime talk. Talking about the shows that I watched since the last time I streamed. So I've got some stuff to talk about here. We'll talk first and foremost. Let's talk about Dr. Stone. So a lot happened with Dr. Stone. It's a really interesting series because there wasn't a lot of science in this one. Last week's episode was a lot of flashback stuff, which was important, and this one was, some of that flashback, and then a decision got made. So basically, it's post apocalypse. Everyone had been petrified. Things are changing. We're trying to figure things out. Um, we're not really sure what's happening uh, with how things are going. There's some people that have been unpetrified. There's some conflict. And then we got introduced in this episode. We knew she was there. We saw her previously. We got introduced to someone who we think was never petrified. They might be the child of a survivor. Now, they may be the child of someone who, of people who got unpetrified, or maybe they were humans that never went through the process of becoming stone. We don't know. It was interesting. It was kind of cool. There's some action stuff that looked good. And the thing that bummed me out was, like, it makes sense, but our main characters are splitting up, and I don't like that because I like the trio that we had. And we also didn't get that trio for that long, so it's kind of a bummer to break up this crew that we barely had any time with, had any time for them together. So I was kind of bummed about that. I don't like breaking up this fun crew, the trio. But Dr. Stone, really good, really interesting shonen. A lot of cool, weird science in it. A character that in another anime would be a villain is the hero, but he's not a villain. He's just a weird, like, kind of arrogant genius, but not like the anime knows, like, he knows what his deal is, and the anime knows what his deal is. So it's not that they made a main character that is unlikable and want you to like him and are surprised to hear that fans don't like him. Like, they get that this dude is, Senku, is, like, a genius and hard to deal with. Like, they get it, which I like. They still appreciate his love of science and his like, problem solving, but it's not like how, like, sometimes Sherlock Holmes sucks. Like, they make the character suck, but because it's Sherlock Holmes, you're supposed to like him, but you're like, I don't know. This guy seems like an asshole. Like a brilliant asshole, but they're like, what? It's Sherlock Holmes. We love him. Like, it's not that. They're like, no, we get it. We get why you would be bummed by this dude. Where did I put back forward? There. So that's really good. Fruits Basket. We're at the point now where I don't remember what happens in Fruits Basket, and I'm getting bored of it. Which sucks because it's one of the only dramas I'm watching, and it's got its comedy elements, and its comedy elements are strong. It is such a good show. I don't know why I'm bored with it, but I might take a break. I'm going to check it out. Been looking for a new anime. Well, hopefully, Gavin, yeah, I think Dr. Stone is a great starting point because it is a brand new series, and it's new this season. So I would say it might be a cool show to check out. I think the characters are fun, and the art is beautiful. The art is so beautiful. Yeah, so Fruits Basket. I mean, I've been watching it now. I mean, it's continued on from last season. It's a good show. It's just not, I don't know. I'm never like, oh yeah, gotta skip out what I'm doing and watch that. I am feeling that way about Is It Wrong to Try to Pick Up Girls in a Dungeon, Season 2. Danmachi, Season 2. Danmachi is an easier way to say, is it wrong to try to pick up girls in a dungeon, which is such a stupid long name. So, I said this before. I thought the war games were going to take longer. I thought the war game was going to be a longer part of the season. It's not. It's over. I like that because now we can focus on the next big bad. We did not get that. We're getting a hint that something bad is happening, and we got to introduce a character that's in the opening sequence, opening song that we haven't seen yet. So I like that. We're kind of just dealing with the idea of, Gavin. They basically, it is a Fruits Basket 2019 is a relaunch. It is a with more input from the manga creator, more of her approval of it, but it is a retelling of that story, and it looks nice and is still just a solid drama. But I can understand, it was 10 years ago when you watched the first one, so I understand you not remembering it. But yeah, Don Machi, this was like a fun episode. We got some character development. We got some character interaction. We got to see how nice Belle is to people, and a fun moment of like they're gonna recruit some new members, and they got to be careful, um, because basically 2 out of the 3 ladies in the house want to go out with Belle, or at least protect him from women because he's just too nice. Uh, and one of them is kind of like judging people, and there's like a girl with like not wearing a lot. She's like, no. And then there was a small little fun girl, and she goes like, who seemed like fun and whatever, and she goes, no, he'll want to protect her, and she's too close to my character. So she was like, no, can't do it, which I thought was funny. And then there was like a real giantess, like an Amazon, like the race was called Amazon, muscle character, and then the young girl who likes Belle, the main character, is just like, better safe than sorry. Oh yeah, Leneko. That is a very good scene for Fruits Basket. Uh, what she would represent as a zodiac on a Giri. Yeah, that is a good bit. There's some good comedy, and especially like her friends. Her friends in that show offer a lot of fun. Um, but yeah, Don Makai, or Is It Wrong to Try to Pick Up Girls in a Dungeon, season 2. It's still good. This one was like the transition from the goofiness, or the somewhat goofiness of the first part of the season. There was still drama, but it was the short story part of it, and now we're going to get into the meat of the season. Uh, and I'm excited for it. I still really like it. It's still a great show. Uh, Fire Force. I did not watch this week's Fire Force. I will talk about Fire Force on Monday. I just didn't get a chance to watch it. Uh, there's a lot of anime that comes out on Friday, and that was like literally all the shows I've talked about all come out on Friday. There are 5 shows that I watch that come on Friday, and I just didn't get to all 5 of them between yesterday and today. So can't talk about it. And then so yeah, I didn't. I'm trying to rotate the ones because often it is that I don't watch Fruits Basket. So I want to make sure I watch that this week. So the one I didn't watch this week was Fire Force, which is just like a good show. It's not going to win any awards for shonen stuff. Um, it's it's going to be overshadowed, I think, by Dr. Stone. It's even going to be overshadowed by Black Clover, which is having a great series of episodes this year, like a really solid year for that. As far as the shonen stuff, or like Mob Psycho season 2, or even to a smaller extent, Great Saiyan Man season 2, One Punch Man season 2, I should say. Um, like those things, I think are going to outshine Fire Force. But it's a good show. I like it. And I look forward to catching up on it. A show that I might be done with, because there was one show that was on Fridays that I'm done with, which is the one of the. I'm now down to 3 isekai shows because I'm not watching Do You Love Your Mom and her 2-hit multi-target attacks. I just didn't enjoy that show, so I stopped watching it. Because I think it's bad. I think it's a bad show, and I didn't want to watch it anymore. So I don't have that, but I like a certain scientific accelerator. I think it's a good show. It's just I've never liked all. I've never loved all of these shows. So to try to where do I begin? So a certain magical index. A certain magical index is the name of a show, right? 10 years ago, it comes out. There's a whole season. Then my timeline's gonna be bad. But there are 3 seasons of a certain magical index, including a season that came out this year. There's also a certain scientific railgun, which is same characters and sometimes the same scenes, focusing on other characters with an overlap. You might see it from the same perspective. Maybe there's a scene and it's in a different diner, and that seems weird, but it's the same thing. There's a movie, it ties in, it actually ties in, which you don't often get. And they're overlapping, and sometimes you're seeing the same scenes from different perspectives, or you've already seen something happen, and now you're seeing this. So a certain scientific accelerator takes place after the first season of a certain magical index. Now, because I've seen some of season 3 of a certain magical index, I know a lot about what happens to Accelerator, the main character in the show. I know a ton of stuff that happens to him. But we're not seeing that. But it's also weird because we're watching an anime in 2019 that in the timeline takes place right after stuff that was animated 10 years ago. So a mech shows up, right? Well, it's computer generated. It's CG. It's not digital animation, it's CG. But if that mecha had shown up in 2008, it wouldn't have been CG. So it just is a weird, like, we're going to hit scenes probably in this season that they're going to redo, and the art's going to just look different. And that's not necessarily a bad thing. It's just a thing that happens and has to happen. And it's weird. It's a weird thing. Oh, we got our pilot for our plane. I just made our pilot. We got our pilot. We're pilot over here. So I don't know how I feel about it. This whole idea of this anime that, like, because it's look, the Fates series, which are all interconnected and alternate universes and sometimes continuations, but mostly not. It makes sense that all those look differently because even ones that come out year to year look differently because they are different universes. This is all theoretically the same universe. It's just that it was made over a period of time. So I don't know. Also, I think Accelerator, the character, works in small doses. So the whole idea of Accelerator is that, like, the dude is a villain. He does bad things. Certainly. He does bad things in the series. But he has like a weird code of ethics about the aesthetic of being a villain, which means that he often fights other villains, and you're rooting for him. And then also there's a young girl who's a clone that he really likes and wants to protect her. And so there's a lot of conflict. And so he ends up saying, like, really, like, he was talking to a villain, this character, and was basically giving this monologue, which was a incredibly nonsensical monologue about, like, his art. And it was just, like, him threatening to murder this person. But also we want him to win because he was protecting the necromancer character that is trying to stop a big problem, and it's a whole thing. I don't know. It's a whole fucking thing. But I will say that Accelerator, in my opinion, the character is it's supposed to be hard to root for him. And also I know what happens in the future, and I know where his paths cross with Toru, who we do want to root for. He's the guy. He's the main character in a certain magical index. He is definitely the hero. He never stops to question it. He's always trying to do the right thing. And in fact, the only time he ever questions if he's doing the right thing is when, not in the manga, not in the anime, in the manga, much later, there's a moment where, like, he wonders if this thing is true, where if he had never been born, would that actually help people more? Like that's his big thing. It's just like, oh shit, I'm trying to do the right thing and help people. Uh, Whereas Accelerator did some messed up shit, but is mostly mad because he did that messed up shit and it was helping people he didn't want to help. So that's why he's mostly mad. He's got a good evil cackle though. And the dub, I forget the voice actor's name, but the voice actor that does him in the dub is also really good at making him sound uh, like manic and just really scary. I don't know. That's my opinion. I I'm right now I'm invested, but I could see myself like catching up later. Now a show that I'm gonna try to catch up on at some point. I don't know when that's gonna happen. It might happen while I'm at PAX and have like nights free or whatever. If I have time to like relax, maybe I'll download a bunch of episodes and watch it on the plane. Um, I want to get back into Demon Slayer because apparently it just keeps getting better and better, and the animation just keeps looking cooler and cooler. I bounced off of it because the goofiness of some parts of it, because it's look, it's a heavy shonen show. Whole family gets wiped out. This kid wants to become a demon slayer. His sister got turned into a demon. He might be able to cure her. He's got to get better at doing this, and it's the whole thing. There's a major villain that dresses like he looks like smooth criminal Michael Jackson. It doesn't make any sense because this is like the samurai era and he is dressed in a suit and it doesn't make any sense, but he's the big bad villain and he looks awesome. Uh, and there's like another demon slayer that wears like an animal mask and it doesn't make any sense. None of it makes any sense. But I kind of bounced off of it because I wasn't really feeling it. Apparently, it's fucking awesome. Uh, I don't know. There's like some good demons, and like the good demons help them out, and there's some like nice stuff that happens there, and I don't know. I should probably get back into Demon Slayer because, as I said, apparently I've been missing out. There's just so much goddamn anime, and new stuff keeps coming, but I keep saying like I don't have anything to talk about on Monday, and of course I'll have Fire Force to talk about on Monday, but I really don't have a lot to talk about on Mondays because we've had filler with One Piece, so I'll have new One Piece, and then I've got on Monday Ari Fuerta, and I can talk about that because it's the best isekai of the season. Ari Fuerta on Hulu. Ari Fuerta is one of the best shows this season. It is the best isekai in years because it is outside of the closing theme, which is like creepy and weird, but that's not the anime. It is by far the best isekai, and that might even be included. It's hard to say because that time I got reincarnated as a slime is one of my favorite shows of the last couple of years. Outside of the OVA, which completely sucked, but also that's not surprising. OVAs are often just fan servicey and shitty. But the rest of the show was so good. But that almost isn't an isekai. It's more of an adventure show. Whereas this one like has its harem moments. It'll build. I think we're gonna meet bunny girls. It's so weird that there are two isekai this season that have bunny girls because Demon Lord Retry also has a bunny girl characters, although we really didn't see them too much. And then apparently they're going to show up in this in Ari Forta. I don't know. It's a good show. Also, dude lost his eye. Our main dude lost his eye, right? shoved a big gem in there and then put an eye patch over it. And I don't know if the gem is helping him in any way, but I do know that when his eye patch falls out, people are going to be like, what the fuck? And I think that it might just be aesthetic. I don't know. And he's got a big metal arm, and that's cool and fun. And he's got a vampire sidekick. And that's fun. The only part of Vampire Sidekick I don't like. I like she's got cool magic. She's an immortal vampire. She has been trapped for years in this labyrinth, and so she's grateful to this dude that saved her, who then is also like, hey, I'm doing whatever I can to get back to my home world. Come with me. I don't know if that's going to work, but we'll make it work. Let me help you. The one thing I don't like, so she's got hero worship there and love and whatever. That's fine. I don't mind that shit. That's anime. That's storytelling, right? You save someone, they're indebted to you. It's probably gonna get whatever. They're gonna be into you. That happens. That's also life too. The thing I don't like is that she says that he asks her what her name is, and she's abandoning her old name because she was betrayed by her people, and they abandoned her. So she asked him for a name, and I'm like, no, I don't like that part. I don't like that part. It might be one of the only parts of RE4 I don't like is that part of anything. Also, speaking of that show, I watched the video about apparently they skip a bunch of manga. So, which I think is good. So, the show's first episode is them going to a dungeon. We learn a little bit about what happened, and then an event happens, and then we learn about how they all ended up there. Well, the anime is just kind of doing little flashbacks here and there to let you know what happened. The manga starts in Earth, or our world, or whatever, or their world, and shows a lot about the character and who he is and all that. And then them all being summoned, and it's this whole thing. And it's a long process. Which I think the manga's right, or the anime is smart to just skip, because it's not to me about this dude was lazy. This dude was whatever. It really wants to show you the dude was lazy, why there were people that had contempt for him, why the most popular girl in school trying to encourage him and him not seemingly caring about that, why all these things led to his betrayal. But it's we don't need that. You didn't need to get into that. I'm glad that we're not focusing on that. It's awesome that we're just the anime is just yeah. It's not about who he was, it's about who he's going to become by his situation. We don't care about that version of the dude. We care about the next version of him. And I think that's awesome and cool. Because a slow light novel can be interesting. A slow isekai, I don't know. Anime, I don't know if it's interesting. So I'm kind of psyched that we didn't have that. All right. Getting a lot done here on this kit. I don't think we're just looking to finish this by the time we end our stream, but we will finish this on Monday. On Monday we will finish this, and we will start, because we have time left in the stream. I'm going to go at least another 20 minutes. So we'll have time left in the stream, and then also we'll definitely have time. On Monday we will start with the pickup truck caravan here. We'll go and make this bigger so you can see what it looks like. This is the next Lego set that I'm going to be doing off the wish list. And that seems fun. You know, I've been watching so many videos about van life and boat living and all that. So it's kind of fun, the idea of doing a camper. Oh, Cruising the Cut videos. I just put those on. Cruising the Cut. The British dude that retired, owns a canal boat and just goes up the river canals and just talks about things, makes some short videos. This is a vlog about him, and just talks about living on a narrow boat which is a houseboat in the canals, and it is a lifestyle that people have. The nice thing about that is that this sounds shitty of me. Believe me when I say I am aware that one of my least favorite parts of van life and odd life videos and like whatever, all those videos. One of my least favorite parts of those videos is when people are like, and we're doing this like to save the environment, and then they just get on and on about environmental stuff, and it's like I'm not here for that part. I'm happy that this is something you're doing. I'm happy that this is how you want to help, but I don't want this video. This video just got preachy and it's weird. Believe me, I'm here to help. I want to save the planet. I want to do the right thing. I'm in it for that. But that's my least favorite part of a lot of these alternative lifestyle videos. You don't find that in van life videos. In van life, they are not talking about that because a lot of narrow boats have diesel engines. So they're not particularly they're doing okay, but a lot of them are like, also we're here in a port so that we can plug into a landline and do our dish, our have our dishes going. So I am looking here. I may have used the wrong. I'm trying to see here. I think I used. I'm missing some. I am missing like one orange. I do have. So I'm trying to see where things went wrong. Because I know the 2 bags I need. And you don't end up with missing pieces in Lego kits. Living in an apartment is probably more environment friendly than a van. Yeah, I would say so. I would say there are alternates to that. But like, and there are people who aren't that are just like, hey, we do this. But I would say that like, it's kind of my least favorite thing. All right, so yeah, so I've got an issue here where these 2 are yellow and these 4 should be orange. I'm going to look at the box. Can't see that. I think that either these are supposed to be red here and it just looks orange. Sometimes the color of these is just like hard to parse. I'll go back to the cargo. We can look at the cargo photo. I will say sometimes when it comes to see-through colors, the color on the booklet is off sometimes. And then sometimes it's also just me just being a goof. All right, so look at the front of this. I think the front's right. I think that's all right. All right, well, that's not going to help me, so I'm going to look it up. Heavy cargo. So my thought is that the back here, the back piece, is actually, that's not orange, it's supposed to be orange there, that's supposed to be the red ones, which I do have 4 of. And then the top ones will be yellow, I think, and that makes sense. So I'm just looking at images now of the sets, and there's a back of one. I can't see the small trailer on that. Yeah, okay. I think that's what it is. I think to me, this looks orange, but is actually red. So I think that's what it's supposed to be. And I have plenty of the red ones, so I'm going to do that. And it would make sense that that would be accurate. So I wonder if those are supposed to be orange and not yellow. Look ahead here. Yep, those are supposed to be orange because yellow is on the plane. All right. I'm figuring it out, folks. Sorry. I will say that often it is the see-through colors that just sometimes just don't look right in instructions. But yeah, that looks right. That looks good. Now we'll put some stickers on here, some decals on. Real life trucks and trailers have red on the back and orange on top. Yeah, I mean, it's like some of it seems to be accurate and some of it is not because it's also just, Lego. So they're making some assumptions on it. All right, so as I said, my streaming schedule is a little weird next week, but Monday is the next build stream, so please come on Monday at 9 p.m. I'm going to keep building today. We're going to keep going with this, but do want to say, please consider watching on Monday at 9 p.m. for my normal stream time, which is 2 days away, and will be fun. All right, yeah, so we got the back bumper here, and that seems right. This seems right. This looks right. I think this is what they want. It's just when I compare, let's see if I can do this. When I compare what it looks like with what I have, I probably can't do that. This looks wrong, but I think it's right in the digital photo. But whatever. If it's wrong, it's our version of wrong. That makes sense. Okay, and we got to put some wheels on this thing. Let's get some wheels on it. Yeah, I think it looks right. I was just confused there. You never know. Again, if you're in the New York area next Saturday, go to FlameCon. If you've been to a Comic-Con, if you've never been to a Comic-Con, if you've never been to a big comic convention, FlameCon is not huge by any means, but it's a good size. If that was your first comic convention, that would be incredible. But FlameCon rules. It is the Artist Alley is incredible. The panels are funny and interesting. The entertainment's solid and really fun. It's that corner of every big con, but it's the whole convention. And you don't have to identify as queer to go. Certainly, you can just go, be an ally, go to a cool convention. But see incredible, wonderfully detailed cosplay. Just see smiling faces and people just handing over money to creators because they are being sold to, and they're finally at a convention where they're oh, I didn't find anything, or well, I found one artist that I kind of liked. It's no, shit, who do I give my money to? Can't I give my money to everyone? The vibe is so good. The people are great. It is one of my favorite conventions. I'm volunteering at the stage, which mostly is entertainment. Mostly it's music or stand-up. There is going to be a panel there, which is fun. So that'll be fun to help out on. It's just a good vibe overall. If you're anywhere in New York next Saturday, there's a gaming lounge because Geeks Out puts on FlameCon. And so they have a little bit of a gamer lounge area with some tabletop games. And one thing that's always really fun is they get some game devs who are also queer to come and show off their games from the New York area. So it's people I know from the scene, and it's just fun to be oh, hi. I just saw you at, you know, Game Developers of Color, and oh, now we're here. And, oh, okay, what's up? Tell me about your game again. Um, but you also, because, so, a thing that, like, I wish didn't happen so much is that there are people out there that just don't think about the crossovers. So like you know that there are comic artists that you identify and love, and you know that there are books that like are for you, and TV shows that you're really into, and all that. But it may never occur to you that you're like, oh, maybe I like tabletop games. Oh, there are queer creators making tabletop games, and I can go meet them, and I can go see what their thing is. I can play a card-based dating sim game, or I can play something that's just this person's queer that made it, and it's just another like German style uh, like agriculture math game. And I think sometimes people don't think about that. So it's really fun to have some crossover there at places like FlameCon. But it's also just like a fun thing where you're like, it's also like a lot of people who are. There's going to be stuff that I see on Saturday that I'm going to go, I don't know what that is. I don't know what that is. I don't know what that is. Which is great. Uh, and I think that's awesome. And I love that. That I'm like, oh, there's just entertainment out there that I just like, I have not been exposed to. I don't know what this cosplay is. What is this? And I'm always psyched about that. I always want to learn new stuff like that. So, keeps me feeling young. Also, I'm going to be working, volunteering underneath a dear friend of mine. And that's lovely. I have not seen him in quite some time. And he'll be telling me what to do. And that's very fun. But it's also just like working with someone that I really respect who cares a lot about what's happening. So, I don't know. I'm looking forward to it. That's next Saturday. It's a week away. I've got other stuff going on. Again, some interviews. I'm going to a job fair on Wednesday that I'm not looking forward to because I don't think there'll be anything that I'm right for there. But I'm still going to go because being uncomfortable is part of the experience. So I'm going to go to a job fair and bring 20 copies of my 10 copies of my resume and hand them out and find out information about a thing. We'll see. I don't know. One thing, the other day on LinkedIn, I applied for a job that was like a house manager at a theater, which I'm more than qualified for and would be great at. But it also involved some managerial assistant work. Like basically, it was like to make you hit enough hours, you also are the like someone else's assistant. And I was like, okay. Uh, and I was like, okay, that looks like it might be something I'll be into. That opened up the floodgates of now I'm just getting uh, things to look at to apply for assistants. And I guess there are a lot of assistant jobs in New York. And I'm not super qualified for a lot of them, but a few of them I am qualified for. So I've been at least applying for more work. We'll see if any of that leads to anything. Gavin says, sounds like a cool con. I've never been to one, but really want to. Not much happens around here. Well, I'm sorry to hear that, Gavin. At some point, I hope that, like, it makes sense if you get a crew together, you want to do some traveling. 1 year, if you get some friends together and you're all going to crash and get a hotel room and all crash together, I know you're in Florida. I'm not saying it's close, but also I don't know if Dragon Con will be the best first con to go to, but like I know that Atlanta has other conventions, If you can get a road trip together, if you can like pile 8 people into a 2-bedroom, a 2-bed hotel room and you just, sneak them all in. Like that kind of experience, like part of those early con memories for a lot of people, myself included, are the like driving for too long and there's one person in the car that kind of didn't want to go and got talked into it and you can't find them and then they're like the people that like turns out are cosplaying and you didn't know they were going to and uh yeah, you've been really close to going to Dragon Con. Dragon Con is huge. I mean, I've never been. It's always the same weekend as PAX West. One year it wasn't, and I just didn't have the funds to do both. Whereas, like, it makes sense for me to go to PAX, so I always go to PAX. But one year, I'm gonna go to Dragon Con at some point. Uh, Sounds like every con experience I ever had. Well, like, so my first con stuff was there were Connecticut conventions, but they were always 1 day events, and hometown cons are fun. Like I love New York Comic Con because my friends come to me and I can see them and hang out. But I still at the end of the day I go home. I can still like go home at the end of the day, and it doesn't feel like a proper convention experience if you just go home. But my first real convention experience was going to Otakon, which is a huge anime convention. At the time, it was in Baltimore. So one year, my friends and I flew down, which is excessive. We didn't need to do that. But then later, we would carpool down and drive down and like get adjoining hotel rooms and have like 8 of us, stay in 2 rooms. And it was incredible because there'd be like people who were like, a friend of mine bought nunchucks and then tried to bring it as a carry-on because he doesn't know. He was 15. That was silly. There's a group of friends of mine that I can just say, Lord Baltimore's Grill, and we laugh because the hotel we stayed at was having con prices, so it was reasonable priced because it was part of a whole package. But the food, it was Lord Baltimore's Grill, and we went and looked at the prices, and soup was $13, and we were like, we're not eating here. But that's always a fun thing with like a group of friends of mine. It's like a memory that we made in like 1996, but has stayed with us for the test of time. I can go on my friend's Facebook wall right now and just type Lord Baltimore's Grill, and he will see it and convulse because it's just like a memory that we've shared. Lashbrick says, my first anime con, we got so little sleep at some point on the drive back, both of us were asleep in the car at the same time. Oh, well, one, oh no, and two, yeah. There are a lot of cons I had where it was just like, we didn't stop. We just kept going. We just experienced everything we could and was like, well, there's a 9 a.m. panel, so we got to get there at 7 because we want to be in line for Mega. One of our friends wants to meet the Mega Tokyo guys, so we got to get in line really early. And okay, I guess that's what we're doing. And oh, we stayed up late because they were screening anime and really late at night at the convention, and we wanted to see that. And then some people were throwing a party, and we could get into it, and we'll go to that. And I want to go to the So You Want to Be a Voice Actor panel because my friend Sam is doing that. My friend Sam at the time, he still is a voice actor, but I haven't seen Sam in a long time. It is a weird thing to say, but that like I always think about this, like Sam Riegel is like, to me, was one of the funniest guys at UCB that left right when I got there. He had been there like brief overlap. And he was like already an accomplished voice actor and continues to be a very accomplished voice actor. He's Teddy. He's Teddy in the dub of Persona. But then also a lot of people only know him from Critical Role because he's like really funny dude. And that's all the only way they know him. But for me, it's just like, oh, that's my friend Sam, and like he had done voiceover work, and he moved to LA, and then like I remember he moved to LA and he got the voice. He did a bunch of voices in Yu-Gi-Oh, but he plays like this early on in Yu-Gi-Oh. He plays like a magician that has like a bunch of traps, like real traps, and it's like a way over the top character. And I remember just being like, oh, great job, Sam. But yeah, he's done all these voices. And is like a very accomplished voice actor. And it's weird to just think that that's also like a dude that people only know from playing Dungeons and Dragons. I haven't seen Sam in a while. Hopefully, our paths will cross. All right, I'm gonna wrap things up, folks. We got a lot done. We're gonna finish up our helicopter on Monday, and then we will start a new kit on Monday as well. Besides, we will do our other Lego set. We've got a truck. We've got a cab, or the cab and the truck. We've got the flatbed trailer. We've got some of the helicopter. And we'll finish with the helicopter. Dude Wants the Rug, thank you. Thanks for hanging out on Saturday. I know, as I said, folks, thanks for hanging out on short notice on this, like, early stream. I try to be consistent. It's just August is so weird. And I can't really, like tonight, I can't turn down work. And I'm doing someone who's doing me a favor later a favor. So I had to say yes to that. But we will continue on Monday. Thanks so much for being here. Have a great rest of your Saturday. Enjoy, if you're watching, enjoy wrestling tonight. Enjoy wrestling tomorrow. And of course, we'll probably talk some wrestling on Monday. Bye-bye. See you Monday, 9 p.m.